The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, written by Covey, is a transformative guide that helps individuals achieve personal and professional success. The book outlines 7 key habits designed to enhance effectiveness in life. By adopting these habits, individuals can move from dependence to independence, and finally to interdependence, thereby fostering a more effective and fulfilling life. Covey describes the 7 habits of highly effective people as follows. Habit 1 is be proactive. Habit 2 is begin with the end in mind. Habit 3 is put first things first. Habit 4 is think win-win. Habit 5 is seek first to understand, then be understood. Habit 6 is synergize, and habit 7 is sharpen the saw. Covey defines a habit as the intersection of knowledge, skill, and desire. Knowledge is the theoretical paradigm, the what to do and the why. Skill is the how to do it. And desire is the motivation, the want to do it. To make something a habit in our lives, we must have all 3. Knowing you need to listen and knowing how to listen are not enough. Unless you want to listen, it won't become a habit. Creating a habit requires work in all 3 dimensions. Habit 1 states that to be effective you need to be proactive. Covey distinguishes between proactive individuals, who focus on what they can control, and reactive individuals, who often respond to circumstances with a victim mentality. Being proactive is the foundation for all the other habits. Highly effective people make the decision to improve their lives through influencing things around them, rather than simply reacting to external forces. Covey tells us that being proactive is all about taking responsibility for your life. He argues that you need to respond to situations with a solution-focused mindset. You should replace I have to with I choose to. The key to habit 1 is taking control of yourself and your choices in life. Covey defines proactive people as those who take initiative. They take the initiative to take control of their lives, rather than waiting for someone else to do it. Are responsible. They take responsibility for their own choices, rather than blaming other or circumstances. Focus on what they can control. They focus on what they can control, rather than getting bogged down by things that are outside of their control. Are aware of their circle of influence. They understand that they can only control their own thoughts, feelings, and actions, and they focus on what they can influence, rather than wasting energy on things they can't control. Habit 2 states that you must begin with the end in mind. To begin with the end in mind means to start with a clear understanding of your desired destination. Covey promotes the idea that everyone should have a personal mission statement. He feels that everyone should have clear goals and a vision for their life. Covey promotes the idea that you need to write down your goals and be able to visualize them. The most fundamental application of begin with the end in mind is to begin today with the image, picture, or paradigm of the end of your life as your frame of reference by which everything else is examined. To begin with the end in mind means to start with a clear understanding of your desired destination. It means to know where you're going so that you better understand where you are now and so that the steps you take are always in the right direction. You should always act in accordance with the image you wish to leave at the end of your life. Covey suggests that you should live based on how you want to be remembered. This focus helps ensure that your day-to-day actions do not violate your most important values. Habit 3 states put first things first. Covey states that you should prioritize important tasks over those tasks that are urgent. He is a big proponent of planning your week before it starts so that your actions are intentional. The challenge with putting first things first is not to manage time but to manage ourselves. The challenge is not to prioritize what's on our schedule, but to schedule our priorities. To put first things first, you must first identify your highest priorities, values, and goals in life. Then you must organize your time and energy around those priorities. This involves setting clear goals. This habit also involves saying no to less important tasks, avoiding distractions, and delegating tasks to others. It's about being proactive and taking control of your time, rather than letting others dictate how you allocate your time. Putting first things first helps you to prioritize your activities and eliminate those that are urgent but not as important, using your mission statement as a guide. Habit 4 promotes the idea that you need to think win-win. This habit is significant because it shifts the focus from competitive thinking to cooperative solutions. Covey wants people to stop competing and start cooperating. He stated that if you help your neighbor, they will help you in return. He felt that the first thing you should think of when working with others is how can we both benefit. Win-win means that agreements or solutions are mutually beneficial and mutually satisfying. With a win-win solution, all parties feel good about the decision and feel committed to the action plan. Win-win sees life as a cooperative, not a competitive arena. Covey emphasizes, the spirit of win-win cannot survive in an environment of competition and contests. Win-win is a belief in the third alternative. It's not your way or my way. It's a better way, a higher way. Covey recommends that if you cannot reach a win-win solution, then you should agree to a no-deal solution. No deal basically means that if we can't find a solution that would benefit us both, we agree to disagree agreeably, no deal. With no deal as an option, you can honestly say, I only want to go for win-win. I want to win and I want you to win. Habit 5 states, seek first to understand, then be understood. Covey points out that you can't reach a mutually beneficial solution without first understanding the other person's interests. This requires empathetic listening or striving to understand the other person's perspectives by interpreting what they're saying as well as how they feel. Covey states that most people listen with the intent to respond. What they should do is to listen with the intent of understanding the other person. One technique he offers is for the listener to repeat what the other person said, and then ask, did I correctly understand what you were communicating? Before you can offer advice, suggest solutions, or effectively interact with another person in any way, you must seek to deeply understand the other person and their perspective through empathetic listening. The key to empathetic listening is to genuinely seek to understand the individual to whom you are listening. However, it does not mean you have to agree with the other person's views. Habit 6 is what Covey calls synergy. Covey contends that collaborating or creating what he calls synergy with another person enables you to achieve more than either of you could alone. Simply put, it means that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. To achieve this habit, one must value differences among people and try to build creative solutions and ideas through interactions. By understanding and valuing differences in another person's perspective, we have the opportunity to create synergy, which allows us to uncover new possibilities through openness and creativity. Covey recommends finding people with different skills and finding a way to work together effectively. True synergy is achieved when people shift from a mindset of competition or compromise to one of cooperation and creativity. Covey introduces the concept of a third alternative, which means working together to create solutions that are better than what any individual could propose alone. Habit 7 is called Sharpen the Saw. Habit 7 is about preserving and enhancing the greatest asset you have, which is you. It's renewing the 4 dimensions of your nature: physical, spiritual, mental, and social and emotional. It means exercising all 4 dimensions of your nature, regularly and consistently, in wise and balanced ways. The essence of renewing the physical dimension is to exercise our bodies on a regular basis, in a way that will preserve and enhance our capacity to work and adapt and enjoy. The spiritual dimension is your core, your center, your commitment to your value system. The mental dimension requires that you exercise your brain by regularly engaging in reading, writing, learning, and studying. The social and the emotional dimensions of our lives are tied together because our emotional life is primarily, but not exclusively, developed out of and manifested in our relationships with others. Success in habits 4, 5, and 6 is not primarily a matter of intellect. It's primarily a matter of emotion. Habit 7 is focused on renewal or taking the time to sharpen the saw. It surrounds all the other habits and makes each one possible by preserving and enhancing your greatest asset, which is yourself. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is a book that provides an inside-out approach to improving yourself and your life. This method entails examining and adjusting your character, your motives, and how you see the world to change how you behave and how you interact with others. The 7 habits are habits of effectiveness. Because they are based on principles, they bring maximum long-term results. They become the basis of a person's character, creating an empowering center of correct maps from which an individual can effectively solve problems, maximize opportunities, and continually learn and integrate other principles in an upward spiral of growth. Covey's concepts, ideas, and model can, if understood and applied correctly, can help improve your effectiveness, results, and happiness. So, I suggest that you read the entire book, or if you don't have time for that, then you should start with the first habit and try to make improvements in your life by being proactive.